We had last night, right? If you weren't following along last night, there was an incredible storm in our area. Our power was out, our internet was out, and I hopped on a hotspot really quickly to show you guys video of the storm. It knocked out power for hours, which is typically unusual for our area, and it made me think of a larger lesson we can all take away from it, and it's that storms will come. What we make of them and what they can teach us is where we can find our power, right? So if you saw those storms, you may have surmised that I was actually out of electricity for I think it was 5 or 6 hours. And what was kind of cool about that was we had to take a break. We didn't want to open the fridge, so we didn't cook. We sat out on the front porch to stay cool and fed the squirrels. If you know our family, you know my husband is the squirrel whisperer. He loves to feed the squirrels in the yard. Neighbors came over and visited. One of our neighbors, who was maybe 3 years old when I moved to this home, was out there asking advice about buying his another car. So you kind of get reminded of the connections that you have in this world and what's really important. And sometimes I think storms aren't sent to destroy us. It can feel that way, right? When you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I hope the roof doesn't blow off. And oh, I needed that time to work and now I don't have the internet. But really, what they're sent at times to do is to remind us, to give us a moment, to show us what's really important, and to allow us to consider our position in this big universe, right? We are nothing compared to this storm. And we are not in charge anyway. There's a much bigger plan, and we're simply a player in that plan. There's a plan that is laid for us, I believe, and we can be a part of it, but we need to acknowledge that we're not in charge. And I think control is a really big issue that can get us in trouble sometimes. You know, if you're thinking, if I just push hard enough, if I just work hard enough, if I just reach out enough, if I just bully them enough to like me. And that's not what it's about. It's about being our best authentic selves. It's about weathering the storms and recognizing where we are in our roles and our responsibilities. And when the universe says take a break, it's our time to take a break. How we respond to those storms is really where we find our strength. And remember, we've talked about before, if you're in my private Facebook group, especially Resilient Successful Families, that we should be thermometers. Thermostats, not thermometers. So a thermostat sets the temperature, it sets the tone, and that's what we'll be. We'll be thermostats. We're going to say, oh, look at the storm. It's beautiful. We're safe. I value my safety. We're not going to be thermometers. Everybody's upset. Oh, everybody's mad. Everybody's happy. Don't be reactive. Set the tone. This is going to make such a big difference in your home, in your life, in your worship, in your meditation, in your family, in your friendships. If you know who you are and you come to every situation centered and offering your true self, that's going to change everything. Because as soon as you know who you are and you can present yourself authentically, you are going to live such a different existence, such a different life, so much peace, so much success. And I know it's just right around the corner for you. The other thing it helps us do is identify priorities, right? We had to think fairly immediately about the food in the fridge. We don't want to open the fridge and the freezer. We had to be thoughtful about, are there any appliances that need to be unplugged, right? There's some urgent things that you want to do. Are you in a safe area? Get information about the weather. Is there a potential tornado? And suddenly all those lists that felt so urgent that day, not so important, are they? It's not so critical that you send that email. It's a little more important that you maybe get under a table or in a doorway. It puts you in your place. And we've talked before about glass balls and rubber balls in our lives. And this is as if each of our responsibilities, each of the things that we need to deal with or manage throughout the day is a ball. And rubber balls can bounce. And at first, those rubber balls are probably going to bounce fairly high as they have a lot of momentum. They're coming in at you very hot, this to-do list, these things that seem urgent. But the modern age has put us in a position where often what seems urgent is not important. An email, bling, you just heard one, bling, you're thinking, oh my God, what is it? It's probably not important. It's certainly not urgent. And so we need to, as thermostats, identify what is urgent, a glass ball. I said I would speak at this event. This bill is due this day, right? And depending on what's going on the underlying moments of our life, even those may not be important. If a family member or you are ill, that's the glass ball. That's the most important thing to focus on. If the storm means that you're unsafe, getting to safety is the glass ball. Sometimes what we do in our lives is we re-identify rubber balls as glass balls to and sometimes make ourselves seem more important. I'm so busy. I've got so much on my plate. When in fact, if you were just to step back and take an honest assessment of what's happening, you probably could manage it better, and you probably aren't. And if you have time to complain about being busy, then you probably have time to do something about it and restructure, make different choices, make some of those glass balls into rubber balls. Because the idea behind that analogy is that a rubber ball will bounce, it might get lower, it might get lower, it might turn into a glass ball. And you might say, okay, I've been ignoring that so long. Good example would be my roof, right? My house needed a new roof. It was a rubber ball for 20 years. I just was like, come on, sweetie, hang in there. I need you to last. And then last year it was a glass ball. The roof repair people came in and said, we can fix it for $500 and you're going to have to replace it next year. So I replaced it. Thanks to the business models that I've been following, it was easy and I paid cash. So I want you to think about how you respond to storms, both real and metaphorical in your lives. What you could do to make yourselves happier and more centered in those responses. Are you reactive or are you proactive? Are you setting the tone or are you being pulled all over the place? And I want you to think about what's really important in your life. What, when the rubber hits the road, when the glass ball shatters, would really impact your life in a terrible way, and focus your energy on improving those things. For us, it was taking control of our finances and our health. I was ill with Bell's palsy twice in 15 years. When your face becomes paralyzed on one side, you pay attention. You want to talk about urgent, right? And so I had to tend to my health. Our finances were in disorder because I wasn't able to work, because we had kids that we put through college, because we made choices. And then we made choices to turn both those things around. And if you feel like that's not possible, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you don't even know how much debt I have, Amy, you don't even know how little energy I have, you don't know how frustrating it is for me not to be able to play with my kids or not to be able to get up and down a set of stairs after having COVID, I do understand. And I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here to support, and I'm here to give you practical tools so that you can slowly and surely be able to work your way beyond that. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week. And honestly, it doesn't happen in a month. It happens over a period of time with great focus. My mom and dad popped in for a visit this week, and my dad talked about how focused we've been lately. And if you're a Star Wars nerd like me, I said, I am Luke in line to shoot that Death Star shot. I am focused like a laser beam on helping you find success in these areas, because I know when you do, it changes everything. I know when you're no longer worried about whether or not you can make the mortgage next month, you walk differently, you sleep differently, you eat differently, you begin to live your life in your purpose, and you deserve that. You deserve that light and easy, happy feeling. And so if you're interested in that, join us in our private Facebook group, Resilient and Successful Families. If not, no big deal. But no matter what, don't forget, you be the thermostat, and you take your breaks when you need to and embrace those storms. I hope the rest of your night is light and easy. If you're with our signing company, I hope your signings were light and easy. Things are certainly picking up. We had 7 closings today. And I hope you have a great weekend. Remember to have something to look forward to. We're going to go see Top Gun again. Highly recommend it. So shout out below what you're looking forward to. And I can't wait to see you back here Monday, live around 5.